TGR News, broadcasting from the State of Israel.
Welcome back to TGR News.
Hello, hello.
Well, this week we'll talk about the head of the Mossad putting out a statement saying that we need to keep our eyes on Iran, and how Iran put out an advertisement of sorts to show their ability and desire to destroy Israel and other places in the world. But first, we want to say thank you. Thank you for all your support and everything you're allowing us to do here to help the people here in the state of Israel. It's amazing. I just made it back from the IDF, and it's when you have faith, it's amazing how everything works out. I wouldn't believe that I could have done a whole week of IDF service and be able to come back in time to pass out the food and do this news broadcast for you guys. And it's just amazing how the Lord makes everything work. You know, when you just give the faith in Him and the faith that we have in Him, that with you guys, that the support comes in because of you guys for the support to help feed the people here in the state of Israel and everything else this ministry does. So we really want to say thank you. Thank you for everything you do, and we are definitely grateful, just like all the people who you are able to support here in Israel to be able to give them food are thankful. And like we always say, if you haven't yet, you want to, at the bottom of every video, there's links to the Patreon page and to the support page and our website. Or you could just go to the website at thegoldenreport.com and go to the Support Us page there and find any way you feel that's best for you to be able to be a part of this wonderful thing we're doing here in the state of Israel. So I guess we just get started.
Yeah, let's start. A 19-year-old terrorist with an automatic weapon and explosives was about to start killing Jews in the south of Tel Aviv, Jaffa. He was stopped by police officers right before he was able to open fire and set off both explosions. This was another lone wolf terrorist that was not connected to any terrorist organizations.
Yeah, it was great that there was police officers that happened to be there, be able to stop it on time, because you never know how much he was, because he had explosives and everything else. He was ready to really put some damage on the citizens of the Tel Aviv area. So thank God that there was a police officer there to stop it. But just another example of everything that we have to live with here in the state of Israel, you know, with our wonderful neighbors.
Yeah.
Right? The head general in charge of the northern border of Israel was interviewed at the beginning of this week. He went into detail on how Israel is ready for anything from Syria and Lebanon. He talked about all the intelligence we have and how he is sure when he says that we don't have to worry about Syria and Lebanon. We need to keep our eyes and the world's eyes on Iran. That's our problem. You know, what he means by there's no problem, it's not the problem we should be worried about, is we're fairly well educated on the abilities that Hezbollah has and through Syria and Lebanon. And it would be a horrible thing if they opened up war again, but it's something we can handle. Yeah. Is what he's saying. It's not saying that we want to have deaths in Israel's border cities and villages and moshavs and everything else. He's just saying that it's something that we could handle. But Iran is the big deal. I mean, it's the whole, right now, and this nuclear deal, obviously, that the whole world's always talking about, is making it worse for us and the world. Iran. For the first time, Ronen Bar, the head of the Shabak, held a press conference to state that the instability in politics and feeling of segregation in our nation is the direct cause for the rise of terrorists, especially the lone wolf terrorists that are starting to pop up. Like we've been talking about, like how it's not usual. It's usually some kind of terrorist organizations or stuff like that, right? And the fact that from the sidelines, as the Arabs see us as a state, they see the instability and they see how we're not really as a unit united anymore. Yeah. So that it's causing them to uprise a little bit more. It really is something that we need to get a handle on here in Israel and get back to basics, as to sort of say.
Yeah. Israel came out with new statistics on the number of people under the poverty line here in Israel. There was a rise of 40% of people asking for help to have food for their holiday table for the upcoming holidays, Rosh Hashanah, Sukkot.
Yep.
The last survey showed that 1 of 3 kids go to bed hungry, which is only getting worse. Many families that I know that used to be even not only in good situations, but even supporting others, now they need support.
Yeah.
It's average families that never asked for help. Now they're struggling to put food on the table.
Yeah.
So
That's why
it's
what you guys are doing here with us is so important and such a blessing and so necessary for what you guys are doing here. And we thank you. I know we say thank you, but thank you again. We say thank you at the beginning of all the videos, but really thank you. It really is such a blessing to be able to help the people here in the state of Israel, and it's just getting worse.
Yeah.
So bring in more people. Ask your friends, your fellow church goers. Ask them, tell them, come on in, help as many as we can. After Iran advertised their ability and desire with kamikaze drones hitting Tel Aviv and killing the masses there, the head of our Mossad answered back that any attack on Israel or Israelis, meaning even Israelis not in the state of Israel, that happen to be on vacation, will have a heavy price on Iranian soil. We will get back to them, give them an answer real quick on their soil.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they feel the damage, feel the heat, so to speak.
Yeah.
Which is good. Which is good that he said that, and I hope if something ever does happen, they'll do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Also this week, Benny Gantz, our Minister of Defense, went on a campaign in the U.S. to explain the real dangers of the Iranian deal, hoping it will make some kind of change.
Yeah. Well, as you can tell, Israel, we've been talking a few things we've brought up here. The Iranian deal is at the top of the docket.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the main issue for us and the rest of the world. It's number one.
Yeah. Well, it's good we're trying. I don't see any hope for Biden to just open his eyes and change something, but it's good we continue trying all the time. And also our statement is, even if the deal will be signed,
Yes.
we're not part of it. We're not obligated to do it.
To do anything by
follow
your deal.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the main thing. That's the two main things that's good about what's going on here when our officials are going around trying to talk to people about the Iranian deal. It puts that two things into effect. Number one, Israel is not following this nuclear deal.
Yeah.
And number two, hopefully to wake up as many people as possible
Yeah.
to the real dangers it's coming, right? After Abu Mazen's the head of the Palestinian Authority here in Israel, was in Germany and made a speech last week making comments using the Holocaust as an example of what's going on here in Israel to whatever. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Prime Minister Lapid this week flew to Germany with the Holocaust survivors, promising the Israeli anti-missile systems, the Arrow, not the Iron Dome, for support against the Iranian deal. Basically, Germany, I don't know. I mean, I don't have a problem giving Germany technologies, the Arrow, what's called the Israeli Arrow. I think it could be a good deal. Is if you get some more and more, European countries, westernized countries on our side of this nuclear deal, right?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. On Monday, 2 Arabs drove around from Jenin looking for any Jew they could try to kill. They found a man working on a tractor and opened fire over 70 rounds of automatic ammunition. Thank God he wasn't hurt. He was able to get out of there, and nothing seriously happened. Nothing seriously happened to him, right?
Yeah.
But
Something to mention about this specific attack. One of them was shooting, and the second was
Making a video.
Making a video for TikTok and
Yep.
social media. And the ability, I don't know how to say that, the ability for them to share that, and social media don't stop them or don't do anything.
Yeah.
That's
we have to be
crazy.
careful what we say here on our YouTube channel because they close us down in a second
Yeah.
if we go
But on the other
too deep
side,
into certain subjects in particular,
yeah.
and they can take videos of trying to kill Jews, upload them, and it's fine.
yeah, it's
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
ridiculous.
It really, really is.
On Monday night, Special Forces soldier was killed in Jenin area. His name was Bar Falah. One of the 2 terrorists was from the Palestinian Authority. That was
Well, I was pretty close to this one. It's like Ola said, it happened right out of right near Jenin. Bar Falach, we happen to know him. Ola's met him twice. But I was also this week in the IDF, as you probably already know. And while I was in the IDF, I heard this whole thing happen over the radio. I wasn't close physically, but I was close. I heard everything step by step. It was a horrible situation. It just goes to the only reason he was killed is because of the way we work as a military here, being so careful.
and
Humanity. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so careful in making sure we don't make any mistakes. And basically, what happened is two Arabs terrorists with intentions to shoot and kill as many as people as they could, especially soldiers. They came up to the fence in the middle of the night to cross into where they know soldiers are standing guard to keep our borders safe, right?
Yeah.
And when they got close enough, they just stopped and sat there and waited for them. And they were smart enough to know how to hide their weapons so that in night vision goggles and everything else, we couldn't see that they had weapons. The military guys, the soldiers that was there, they told them to stop and identify themselves a few times. They shot in the air to get them to talk and everything, and they knew that what they had to do. They just sat there and not move or anything. So Bar with another guy, which happened to be the brigadier general that over the Nachal brigade, they came around behind them to try to come up to him, and the Arabs waited till they were about 20 meters, about let's say 20, 25 yards away, and the Arabs just opened fire and were able to kill him. The military was able to stop them and get them, but not before they were able to kill Bar. So there was a big situation. It was a sad situation. Like I said, we knew him personally.
Yeah.
But it's just the whole reason.
Unnecessary death because only Israeli army doing this.
Yeah.
There's the wait and they ask and they trying to go as careful as they can with those killers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blood on their hands, and we're just so careful because all the world looking at us and criticizing us.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Anyway.
Something else I wanted to mention. We talked about Germany.
Right.
Israel rethinking where to. I don't know if you know, but every year Israeli students go to Poland. For the Holocaust memory sites,
Right.
and yeah. So now we have a little bit tense relationship with Poland.
Yes.
And they cancel our trips. It's been second or third year with our students not going there. So first it was because of the corona, they said, and then the diplomatic relationship is not good right now.
Yeah, it's getting
bad, worse. So now Israel thinking of where to send the students. We have Germany and other sites. So it's very important for our young people to go and
it's the last year. It's the last year of high school, isn't it?
I think they do it.
Yeah, it's a school trip that they always make,
they do,
and it's very important. I agree with you. It's super important.
Yeah.
We still have Holocaust survivors, but it won't be long before the age they're getting old. They won't be around to be able to tell the story firsthand.
Yeah.
And it's something that we all need to keep in mind. And it's like the old saying, history seems to repeat itself.
Oh.
Yeah. So and anti-Semitism in the world right now growing the way it is.
Crazy.
We're not far away from where it was right before the Holocaust in anti-Semitic aspects, right?
Yeah.
Well, you got anything you want to add?
No, I already did.
You already did. You preempted.
Yes.
Okay. Well, this was a sad week as I was in the IDF with the death of Bar, but life goes on. And I want to say thank you once again, even though we said it, but thank you for everything you guys do. And don't forget to join us on the goldenreport.com. Until next week.
Shabbat shalom.
God bless.